Human, what is this hard thing hanging between your legs? Can I touch it? Jared blinked. That was the first thing she said after healing his leg and pulling him from the wreckage. 7 feet tall, glowing like moonlight and curiosity radiating from her enormous blue eyes. And that was her question? He would have laughed if his brain hadn't short-circuited trying to figure out if she was joking, flirting, or genuinely confused. Let's rewind 2 hours. The escape pod from the Odyssey 9 screamed through the alien atmosphere, fire licking. At its sides, alarms blaring like banshees. Jared Valor's grip tightened around the seat restraints as the ground below grew clearer, purple forests, crystalline lakes, and jagged cliffs. There was no way to steer, no way to land gently. He muttered, "Well, this is gonna suck." Then, impact. When he came to, everything was sideways. The emergency lights inside the pod blinked dimly, casting red shadows on the cracked walls. A sharp pain stabbed through his thigh. Blood, hot and fast, soaking through his uniform. Outside, the forest was still, as if holding its breath. Jared limped out, eyes scanning for dangers. The twin suns of Yalara 5 painted the sky in hues of peach and gold. Strange birds circled above. The air smelled like ozone and crushed berries. But it was quiet. Too quiet. Until something moved. A rustle. A flicker of silver between trees. Then, stepping from the vines, came a figure not meant for any earthly fairy tale. She was breathtaking. Not just tall, elegant. Her skin shimmered like pearl, catching. Glints of both suns. Hair like soft tendrils flowed behind her. Part organic, part something else entirely. Her features were impossibly delicate. Ethereal. Not human, but something beautiful beyond reason. Her eyes locked onto his, glowing faintly blue. "I am Nerea," she said, voice melodic, echoing in his chest like a soft chord. "You are..." "The Sky Burner." "I'm the what now?" Jared muttered, holding up his plasma cutter. Okay, just don't come any closer. I mean no harm." She stepped forward anyway. He tensed, until her eyes fell to his injured leg. "You are leaking," she said with soft concern, kneeling beside him. Before he could protest, she placed her hand, warm, soft, too many fingers, over the wound. A gentle green light flowed from her palm. Pain dulled. The bleeding slowed. Jared stared, dumbfounded. "What did you just do?" "I healed you," Nerea replied simply. "It's in my nature. You just fixed a deep gash with your hand." "I like helping," she said with a smile that somehow made his heart race. That's when her eyes traveled lower. Jared followed her gaze and froze. Between the angle of his body and the tightness of the jumpsuit, certain things were pressing, up a little too obviously. Nerea blinked, tilting her head with genuine curiosity. "What is this hard thing hanging between your legs?" she asked, utterly sincere. "Can I touch it?" Jared's entire soul nearly left his body. "Wait! No! No! Definitely not!" "Why?" she asked innocently. "Is it dangerous?" "No! I mean, yes! No! It's not a thing, it's a part of me. A human part. Private." Her expression scrunched in confusion. "But you said I touched your leg. That is also a part of you. What makes this different?" Jared covered his face, flustered beyond measure. "You really don't have a concept of personal boundaries, do you?" She blinked. "I do not understand shame, or hiding." He sighed, unsure whether to be horrified, flattered, or just deeply amused. "You're from a very different culture, huh?" "I am from the Saraline fold," she said proudly, "where we share everything, even thought." Her tone softened. "But I can learn your ways, if you stay." The wind rustled the alien canopy above, her hair glimmering under the fading suns. Despite the crash, the wound, the confusion, Jared realized something strange. He wasn't afraid. This planet was wild, dangerous, unknown. But the girl standing before him, she made him feel safe, even if she really needed a lesson in human anatomy. Jared leaned against the cracked husk of his escape pod, tearing open a ration pack with one hand, while stealing cautious glances at the strange alien beauty still kneeling in front of him. Nerea. She hadn't moved since asking about the hard thing between his legs. She simply sat there, blinking slowly, as if contemplating the full weight of her innocent question. Her vine-like hair curled thoughtfully around her shoulders, reacting to some breeze he couldn't feel. "I didn't mean to startle you," she finally said, her voice soft and full of sincerity. He exhaled slowly. "You didn't startle me. You just caught me off guard." She tilted her head. "I said something strange?" "Yes," Jared said, offering her half of his protein bar. "Extremely strange. But I'm guessing that's normal for you?" She sniffed the food curiously, then tasted it. Her face lit up. "This is delicious. What is this substance?" He grinned. "Chocolate peanut butter. Earth magic." She nodded solemnly, chewing. "Earth magic is good." Jared watched her. Every movement she made was graceful, fluid. But she had this innocence too, like a curious child trapped in the body of an elegant goddess. He couldn't deny it. She fascinated him, and yet she was clearly learning fast. "So," she said between bites, "your private parts, they change shape depending on emotion?" He choked on his bite. "What? No, not emotion. Well, sort of. It's complicated." She scooted closer. "Teach me." "Teach you?" he repeated, panic rising. "I healed your body. Now you teach me yours." Her tone was calm, genuine, like it was the most natural trait in the world. "Nerea," he said, placing a firm hand between them. "There are boundaries. Things humans don't usually share right away." "But I shared," she said, voice softening. "I let you see me, let you feel my energy. That is intimacy. Did I do it wrong?" His breath caught, the way she said it so vulnerable, like she truly didn't know. "No," he said after a pause. "You didn't do it wrong. Humans need more time. We're slow." Her glowing eyes flicked upward, scanning his expression. "Then I will be patient." The moment hung there, delicate as a thread. Then she made her first human mistake. She stood suddenly and reached down, not to his body but to the belt at his waist, the one holding his survival gear. Her fingers curled around the edge of it, tugging experimentally. "This," she said. "Is it safe to remove?" "Wait! Nerea! That's not—" Too late. The magnetic clasp released with a snap. His utility belt dropped with a dull thud, and the knife pouch and plasma cutter tumbled to the ground. So did a cylindrical emergency beacon. The beacon activated. Shrill whine filled the air, followed by a red flare launching itself into the sky. "Oh no," Jared muttered. "What is wrong?" Nerea asked, startled by his sudden panic. That beacon just lit up like a flare at a funeral. He was already scooping it up, trying to shut it off. "It'll attract everything in this forest, not just rescue, predators, pirates, anything with sensors." Nerea's eyes widened. "I did not mean—" He grabbed her hand. "We have to move. Now!" They bolted into the underbrush, his legs still sore, her fingers gripping his with surprising strength. The jungle twisted around them, vines with pulsing veins, flowers that hissed when touched. The sounds of the forest shifted, more growls, clicking. Something sensed the flare. Jared looked at her as they ran. "That was a human mistake." "I'm sorry," she said, not out of fear, but sadness. "I did not mean to put you in danger." He didn't have time to reassure her. Behind them, something large crashed through the trees. Whatever it was fast, and it was coming. They reached a shallow ravine and slid down the embankment, landing hard on a bed of moss. Jared hissed in pain, his thigh flaring with fire. Again. Nerea turned to him, placing her hands over the wound. But this time, her glow was dimmer. "I cannot heal again so soon," she whispered. "Not without rest," he nodded. "It's okay. We're alive. For now." They lay hidden beneath thick, low-hanging vines. Jared's breath came in short gasps. Beside him, Nerea looked shaken, but not terrified. Her eyes glowed faintly in the shadows. "I did not know humans were so fragile," she whispered. "We're good at pretending we're not," he muttered. "And you're good at almost killing me by accident," she frowned. "Is this what humans call teasing?" He chuckled despite himself. "Yes, that was teasing. Then I shall do it too." She reached out and poked his chest gently. "Your chest is hard. May I touch it?" He raised a brow. "That one's fine. Just don't activate any more alien flares, all right?" She giggled, her fingers resting lightly on his chest. Agreed. Jared didn't know what tomorrow would bring. He didn't even know if he'd survive the night. But in that moment, hidden in an alien jungle beside a strange, beautiful creature who'd risked herself for him, the jungle came alive as night fell. Strange lights floated between branches, bioluminescent insects, or perhaps plant spores. Jared couldn't tell. They lit the forest with an eerie glow, painting Nerea's skin in shifting colors. She looked like a creature born of the stars themselves. They'd found temporary shelter beneath the roots of a massive upturned tree, the hollow just large enough for two. The bark was soft like velvet, the roots pulsing faintly with heat, alive in a way that unnerved Jared at first, until Nerea pressed her hand to it and smiled. "It welcomes us," she whispered, as if the forest itself had emotions. "The tree senses need. It will keep us warm." "Right," Jared muttered, sitting carefully beside her. "Sentient trees, great." He leaned back, exhaling. The chase had taken a toll on his already injured leg, and the pulsing throb was now a dull roar in his thigh. Without a word, Nerea moved beside him, kneeling gracefully. She reached for his pants. Whoa, what are you doing?" She paused. "I am helping." "By taking off my pants?" "Yes," she said with complete innocence. "Your wound must breathe. It swells. The covering restricts it." Jared's brain scrambled between logic and shame. "You really don't understand modesty, do you? Is that fear of being seen?" "Something like that," he admitted. "See you already," she said softly, sliding her hand up to his chest. "Here, and here." Her fingers brushed against his temple. His heart skipped. Against his better judgment, he let her continue. The jumpsuit slipped lower, revealing his bandaged thigh. Her fingers worked with care, removing the field wrap. She leaned in close, her breath cool against his skin. But instead of healing, she hummed, a soft, vibrating sound that seemed to make the very air tremble. He looked down and realized her markings. Those thin, silvery trails on her skin had started to glow. Patterns shifted, danced. "What are you doing?" "Singing to the cells," she replied without looking up. "It is our older way. My people call it the Karel. It tells the body to rest, to mend." He stared at her. Even her healing was beautiful. "You're really something else," he murmured. She looked up, smiling gently. "You are strange too, Jared." "How so?" "You are guarded, but still kind. You push me away, but still protect me. You burn bright, but hide it, like fire under ice." That silence again, that strange, swelling quiet that made the world feel smaller, closer. He swallowed. "You talk like poetry." "It is the only way I know," she whispered. He couldn't help but smile. "Keep talking," she tilted her head. "Then I will ask a question." "Okay, what is love?" He blinked. That's a big one. I've seen it in your mind, she said, touching her fingers gently to his temple. Flashes, pictures. A human woman once held your face. She cried. You cried too. Jared froze. That memory wasn't just any woman. It was his mother, the day he left Earth. She'd cupped his cheeks, kissed his forehead, and whispered, "Don't forget to come back." He hadn't seen her since. You saw that? I only feel what you feel, not your words, she said. But I want to understand it. What is love? Is it comfort? Is it closeness? Is it warmth? Yes, he whispered. All of those. She scooted closer, so close he could smell the scent of her, like starlight and soft fruit. Then is this love? She asked, touching his chest again. He hesitated. His heart was pounding too loudly now. It might be, he said. Will you teach me? She asked, her voice trembling ever so slightly. I want to know it fully, with all senses, touch, sight, sound, even pain. Her hand moved to his cheek, brushing it. Her thumb lingered just beside his lips. Nerea, he breathed. You don't have to rush into this. It's not just a lesson. She blinked slowly, her face mere inches from his. I am not rushing. I am choosing. That word struck something deep in him. Before he could respond, a tremor ran through the forest. The root they sat under shivered slightly. Nerea's head snapped up. They found us. Jared grabbed his gear, ignoring the pain. Predators? No. Worse, she said. Worse than jungle monsters? Hunters, she said with a hard edge. They are not from this world. Something hissed beyond the trees. Nerea turned to him and suddenly pressed her forehead against his. Her glow flared again. What are you doing? He whispered. Sharing my voice, she said. So I can call to you, if we are separated. And then, a sudden surge, his chest ached, but in a strange, electric way. Something passed between them. When she pulled back, her eyes glowed fiercely. Now we must run again, Jared Valor. But this time we run together. And he nodded, because deep in his bones he already knew. He would follow her anywhere. They ran again, but this time, not as strangers. Jared and Nerea moved through the forest, like the roots beneath their feet had cleared a path just for them. She led with inhuman grace, ducking between branches and glowing ferns, while Jared kept pace despite the sharp ache in his thigh. Pain meant little now, not when every step beside her felt like destiny sharpening its blade. Behind them, the jungle growled. Not animal, not alien, mechanical. They're using pulse centers, Nerea whispered as they crouched in a hollow between giant mushrooms. Tracking your genetic discharge from the flare beacon. Jared winced. Right. Forgot my sweat smells like a buffet to space bounty hunters. Nerea placed a hand on his chest. Your humor helps you hide your fear. This is brave, but you don't have to hide with me, he met her gaze. I'm not afraid for me, I'm afraid for you. She blinked, taken aback. Why? Because I don't know what they want. But if they find you, I don't think they'll let you go. Nerea looked down, her glow dimming. They won't, she admitted. They want what I carry. Jared frowned. What do you carry? She hesitated, then pulled a small sphere from beneath her woven sash. It pulsed with soft green light, veins of silver spiraling around it like vines. The core seed, she said quietly. It holds the last genetic code of my people. My world is gone, Jared, burned to dust. I am the last Cereline. Jared's heart sank. You're the last of your entire species? She nodded. I was chosen as the keeper. It was supposed to be a long cryo-migration, meant to find a new planet and plant our song again. But my ship was intercepted. I escaped with the seed, and fell here, with you. He stared at the orb. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I was afraid, she whispered. If you knew, you might think I only needed you for protection. But that's not why I stayed close. She touched his hand, trembling. I stayed because I felt you. Your spirit, your chaos, your care, your longing. He couldn't speak for a moment. The jungle faded around them, all noise distant, like the planet itself was holding its breath. I don't know what to say, Jared finally whispered. Then don't say it. Just choose. Choose? She held the orb out. Take the core seed. Hide it. Protect it. Or give it to the hunters if they offer you safety. His jaw clenched. You think I'd trade your people's last hope for my safety? I think, she said softly, you're human, and humans always surprise me. Before he could answer, something cracked through the trees, a flash of metal, a net gun. Jared tackled Nerea just as it fired, barely missing them. They rolled through moss and landed in a clearing, and then the hunters emerged, tall, armored, humanoid in shape, but wrong in proportion. Legs too long, torsos plated in obsidian glass that shimmered like oil. Their faces were smooth masks, with a single blue slit where eyes should be. The leader raised an electrified spear. Human, it said in a grating, synthetic voice. Step away from the Cerulean female. You are irrelevant to our claim. Jared stood, shielding Nerea. Then why chase me? The hunter's mask tilted. Because humans form inconvenient attachments. That makes you dangerous. Nerea stood beside him, pulling energy from the earth. Her skin lit like a small sun, the markings glowing bright. Gold, I won't let you take him, she said, her voice deeper, layered with power. Jared reached for the plasma cutter at his belt. And I won't let you take her. The hunter raised its spear. Jared acted. He threw the cutter. Not to attack, but to distract. It clattered against the nearest hunter's mask, sparking. In that instant, Nerea raised her hands and sang, the same hum she'd used to heal him, but louder, fiercer. The air shook. Vines exploded from the ground, wrapping around the hunters like snakes of living bark. They screeched in their synthetic tongue, weapons flailing. Jared grabbed Nerea's hand. Run! They fled again, deeper, until the jungle gave way to a cliff overlooking a shimmering valley of glowing trees. A thin bridge of vines stretched across the canyon. Nerea stopped, panting. They'll be back. I know, Jared said, staring at the bridge. But I made my choice. She looked at him. I'm not giving you up, he said firmly. Not for safety, not for anything. And I'm not protecting you because of some orb or prophecy. I'm doing it because I care. You hear me? Her eyes, welled with tears, liquid light slipping down her cheeks. Then you must accept my choice too, she whispered. She leaned in and kissed him. Her lips were warm, soft, glowing with faint power. The world paused. The stars seemed to sigh above. Them, when they parted, Jared was breathless. Is that love? She asked. It's a start, he said, grinning. But behind them, the jungle rustled again. No more running. Jared turned to face the oncoming noise, plasma cutter in one hand, Nerea beside him, her voice humming again, preparing her song, together. They stood at the edge of the cliff like twin flames against the dark. Jared's blood pulsed hot, not just from adrenaline but from the surge of something deeper, something wild and protective. Nerea's hand trembled slightly in his, yet her gaze never wavered as the hunters approached from the tangled jungle. They are relentless, she whispered, her glow dimming just slightly. They will not stop. Then neither will we, Jared said. Let them come. The wind howled across the cliff, carrying the scent of broken leaves and charged ozone. The hunters moved like shadows with purpose. weapons drawn, visors gleaming blue in the night. "You're glowing less," Jared said quietly. "Are you okay?" "I've used too much of the Kirel," she admitted. "The healing song, the defense, each note costs energy." He frowned. "Can you recharge? Eat something? Sleep?" "No," she said, looking down. "We are not like humans. We draw from living memory, from our people, and there are none left." Jared turned toward her, eyes burning. "Then take mine." She blinked. "What?" "Take from me. My memories, my energy. You said you touched my mind before, right?" "Yes, but then do it again. Don't hesitate, I'm not losing you." Her breath caught. "Jared, if I take too much, it could change you." "I don't care." A flash of silver ran across her eyes. Something ancient, a forgotten power waking in her veins. She nodded once, then placed both palms against his chest. "I'll take only what you give freely," she whispered. And then he felt her. Not just her touch, but her presence, diving into his thoughts like light through a prism. Memories bloomed and scattered. His mother's kiss, laughter in a rainy city, the warmth of a campfire on earth, pain and hope, dreams and shame. And she drank them in, not greedily, but reverently, like sipping sacred water. Her glow returned, brighter than ever, markings turning gold and crimson, her eyes radiating light. And for one terrifying, beautiful moment, Jared felt like his soul had split open. When she pulled away, tears streamed down her cheeks. "I saw your heart," she whispered. "You are more than I imagined, more than any Sarah Lean song could describe." He stumbled slightly, dizzy but still standing. "What did you see?" "That humans don't just feel. You endure. You defy. Your love burns even through pain. Your chaos and compassion. You choose, even when it hurts." He gave a breathless laugh. "Told you we're full of surprises." Then the first hunter stepped from the trees. Its voice rasped like grinding gears. "You have delayed long enough. Surrender the Seraline. The seed is not yours to protect." Jared stepped forward, defiant. "She isn't a thing to be claimed. She's a person, and she's under my protection now." The hunter lifted its weapon, but Nerea raised her hand and sang. This was no healing hum. It was a song of war. The forest shivered, roots ripped from the ground like spears, vines coiled with minds of their own. 1,000 glowing leaves took flight like a swarm of blades. The hunters charged. Jared grabbed a makeshift spear from the car. Ground, letting instinct take over. He wasn't a soldier, but he was human. And that meant one thing above all: he would never stop fighting for the ones he loved. The first hunter lunged. Jared dodged, striking with a grunt, the spear sparking. Against the metal body, Nerea's song twisted the air around them, stunning a second hunter as vines slammed it into a tree. It wasn't enough. More hunters emerged, forcing them back toward the cliff edge. Jared gritted his teeth. His arms ached. His vision swam. "We know." "Can't hold them," he gasped. "We don't need to," Nerea said, voice shaking. She pulled the core seed from her sash. "If they want this, then I will give it to someone who chooses hope." Jared blinked. "Wait, what are you doing?" She turned to him, eyes shimmering. "You said I could take your memory. Now, I give you mine." Before he could protest, she pressed the orb to his chest. There was a burst of white-hot light, and suddenly he saw it all. A planet with floating mountains, oceans that sang, children with glowing hands dancing beneath stars. The Seraline civilization, ancient, elegant, full of harmony and truth, and then the war, the burning. The silence. He gasped, and the core seed fused to him, right into him. He stumbled back, heart pounding, eyes wide. His veins lit briefly with gold. The orb was gone. "No," the lead hunter roared. "The genetic archive must remain unaltered. You are not Saraline." But Nerea stepped in front of Jared, radiating blinding light. "No, he is something more." The hunters advanced, and Jared screamed, not in pain, but in raw, primal release. The forest answered him. The Saraline legacy surged inside him like a storm awakening. Trees bowed, the cliff cracked. Light burst from his skin, symbols etching briefly across his arms, matching Nerea's. She grabbed his hand. "You are now part of my people, Jared, and I am part of yours." Together they unleashed the power. A shockwave of light and life slammed through the clearing, sweeping the hunters off their feet. Metal shattered, masks cracked. The jungle roared in approval. When it ended, the hunters were gone, retreated, broken. Jared dropped to his knees, panting. Nerea knelt beside him, pressing her forehead to his. "You changed everything," she whispered. "So did you," he replied hoarsely. She smiled. "Then let's keep changing it." The light had faded, but the echoes remained. Jared sat beneath a sky that no longer felt quite the same. The stars above shimmered differently now, closer, warmer, like they were watching, like they had noticed him. Beside him, Nerea leaned, on his shoulder, her breath soft against his neck. Her hand gently rested over his heart, where the core seed had fused into his body just hours ago. Everything was quiet, but not in a hopeless way. The jungle had gone still, out of reverence. "You're different now," Nerea said, her voice almost a whisper. "So are you," Jared replied, glancing at her, but in a good way. She smiled faintly. "I never knew our legacy could be carried by someone, not of our blood." He shrugged, lips curling. "You said humans surprise you. You surprised the stars, Jared." He laughed at that, tired but genuine. "Well, guess they were overdue." They looked out at the ruined forest. Trees still smoldered. The remains of the hunters had vanished into shadow, but something told Jared this wasn't the end of them. Not forever. "What happens now?" he asked. Nerea hesitated. "You have become a keeper now," she said softly. "The core seed merged with your living code. You are carrying not just Saraline memories, but the potential to grow a new people." Jared stared at his palms, feeling the faint golden hum beneath his skin. "You mean, I'm supposed to rebuild your entire species?" "No," she said gently. "We are." He turned to her. "You mean, you're not leaving?" "I can't," she said. "The bond between us, it's real. And if you will have me, Jared, I want to stay. I want to live beside you, learn from you, love you." The words hung there, fragile and glowing. Jared reached up, brushing a strand of glowing silver hair from her cheek. "I've never met anyone like you," he whispered. "No one ever saw me like you do." Nerea leaned into his hand, her skin warm and softly pulsing with light. "Then let's build something new. Together. A new tribe. A new song. A blend of your chaos and my harmony. And if Earth isn't ready for that, then we help it become ready." Jared nodded slowly. He rose to his feet, offering her his hand. "We'll start small," he said. "A home, somewhere hidden for now. You teach me how to use this legacy, and I'll show you what it means to be human." She took his hand and stood, the glow from her skin casting golden reflections across his face. "And one day," she said, eyes shimmering, "we'll sing to the stars, and they'll sing back." As the first rays of morning pierced the treetops, Jared turned to her with a soft grin. "Oh, and one more thing," he said. She tilted her head. "Yes?" That question you asked me when we first met. She blinked. You mean, human. What is this hard thing hanging between your legs? Can I touch it? He laughed, rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah, that one. She smiled, innocently, stepping closer. So, may I touch it now? Jared's eyes widened. Her laugh was like wind chimes in moonlight. Later, Jared, she whispered. First, let's build our world. And as they walked away, hand in hand beneath a rising sun, Jared realized something. Maybe Earth wasn't just a blue planet floating in a sea of silence. Maybe it was the beginning of something far, far greater. Not an end, not even a rescue, but the start of a love that would echo between galaxies. If you enjoyed this story, let me know. Want more tales of alien romance, human courage, and cosmic connections? Tell me what kind of story you want next, and let's create another unforgettable adventure together!